everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Feedback Fridays. In the first week we had a look at what feedback is on offer to a player without the coach getting involved. I spoke about my bugbear of players just being completely reliant on the coach for their feedback instead of what's around them. But there is a massive caveat to that, in that if the coach doesn't allow them to think about and look for that feedback and search for that feedback, then the coach isn't actually helping that process of the athletes finding it themselves, and they make it too easy for the athlete to come to them. So with that in mind, one of the behaviours that I think is really important for coaches to be able to use when they're working with an athlete that needs to find that feedback for themselves is silence. Now, as a coach behaviour, this may seem a little bit weird in the fact that you're not doing anything. It may be perceived as you're standing off, you're not necessarily interested because you are in silence. However, I do feel that it's a fundamental skill if you want to be able to give athletes time to think, create their own answers and build kind of their understanding from there to be able to kick on and go forwards with that sort of thing. So what I've done is I've taken the same session that I took last week, but I've taken the whole session this week, which was 52 minutes and 58 seconds long, having just checked my notes here. And what I've done is I've put a silence clock on it in the bottom right hand corner. So you'll be able to see that, and that will only run as I'm not talking, I'm in silence, which gives the athlete plenty of time then to kind of go through their thoughts and feelings. Now, because it is so long, I have sped it up. I've left the sound on though, so you can hear people nattering, you can hear like the high pitches of people talking. Unfortunately, it was very windy that day as well, so it does sound like a hurricane's coming through the video as well, but please bear with it. Give it a little watch, have a watch on the silence clock, and we'll have a little discussion of that afterwards. So what do you think of that then, guys? Looking at the silence clock at the very end there, it was 29 minutes, 50 seconds. That's really interesting for me, and I felt like I did a fairly good job in that session of making sure that I was silent enough for the athlete in question to be able to create their own thoughts and feelings about everything that was going on. I feel like I might have stepped in a little bit too much, so it could have potentially been a little bit higher as well. And there's obviously plenty of other things that I can have a look at with my coaching as well, which we'll discuss in another time. But I worked out the numbers on that. In terms of the whole session length, I spent 56.3% of time in silence. Now, with that athlete, do you think that's the right amount? Let me know, give us some feedback, comment in the section on YouTube, guys. And let me know what you think, because I personally felt like I gave the athlete plenty of time there to have a think and be able to create some feedback opportunities for themselves. Now, you have to take this with a pinch of salt, because I obviously know my athlete and I know my context there, and the fact that they're not a beginner. They're really clear coming in the door, so you'll notice that there's no brief at the beginning, because he came in and goes, this is what I want to do, and I knew that before I even turned up for the day. So there are a couple of things around that alter what the session looks like and how I change my behaviours. So to give you another context, if this was a beginner learning a brand new skill, I would suggest that my levels of silence wouldn't be as significant as that. They'd probably be a little bit less, where I'd be providing a bit more support and feedback for the athlete. But that's what we're looking at there. So I hope you like that, guys, and I hope it was informative for you. And if you want to discuss anything, feel free to put anything in the comments section or talk to me on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and give us a like on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks, everyone.